I stayed longer than I should have. Not because I loved him, because I needed to see how far he'd go. There was a moment I could have stopped everything. I chose not to. Some nights I watched him sleep and wondered if he knew what was already in motion. No fights, no accusations, just decisions being made quietly without him. People think revenge is loud. They never notice the silent version until it's standing behind them. By the time he asked what was wrong, the answer no longer involved him. If you're still watching, you already understand why I can't explain everything yet. Stay until the end. Some truths only make sense after they've happened. This is the sorry of my new GF here I'm going to expound. Let's start the video. Part 1. The day I trusted you. I used to believe love was safety. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind. The kind where you fall asleep, knowing someone would never hurt you on purpose. That belief died the night I saw her phone light up. I met Ion when I was 23. He wasn't extraordinary, and that's why I trusted him. No flashy charm, no smooth lies, just calm eyes, soft voice, the kind of man who listened when you spoke. He used to say, "I don't want a perfect woman, I want my woman." And I believed him. I built my life around that sentence. We struggled together. I skipped luxuries. I worked extra hours. I said no to people, to opportunities, to myself, because I thought we were building something. Everyone said we were lucky, such a stable couple, such a mature relationship, but nobody saw what I was quietly giving up. The first red flag didn't scream. It whispered. He stopped looking at me when I talked. Not always. Just enough for me to notice. Just enough for me to doubt myself. When I asked what was wrong, he smiled. Nothing. Work stress. I didn't argue. I learned to shrink my questions. That's what love does sometimes. It teaches you silence. Then came her. Her name was Meher. She entered our lives disguised as harmless. A colleague, a friend from work, someone who laughed a little too hard at his jokes. But I told myself I was being insecure, because love, I thought, meant trust. The night everything changed was painfully ordinary. Rain outside, dinner half-eaten, TV playing something neither of us was watching. Ion went to shower. His phone buzzed. Once, twice. I didn't touch it. The third time, the screen lit up. A name I had never seen before. But what froze me wasn't the name. It was the preview message. "I missed the way you looked at me today." My chest tightened. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I stared at the screen like it was about to confess something worse. And it did. Another message. She doesn't know, right? That moment didn't break me. It emptied me. There's a difference. Broken things still have shape. I had none. When Ion came out, towel around his neck, smiling. I smiled back. That's the part people don't understand. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't confront him. I watched. I studied. I memorized. Because something inside me whispered, if you react now, you'll never know the whole truth. Over the next few weeks, I became invisible on purpose. I stopped asking questions. I stopped caring when he came home late. I stopped trying. And that's when men reveal everything. I learned the truth piece by piece. Not through spying, through his carelessness. How he guarded his phone with her, but left it open with me. How he changed his clothes before late meetings. How he suddenly cared about his appearance. How my presence became optional. One night, I heard him laugh in a way he hadn't laughed with me in months. He was on the balcony, phone pressed to his ear. He didn't know I was standing behind the curtain. He said her name like a promise. And I realized something terrifying. I wasn't being cheated on. I was being replaced. The final confirmation came from someone unexpected. My best friend. She sat across from me, hands shaking, eyes wet. I didn't want to tell you, but people at his office talk. I didn't ask what they said. I already knew. She whispered, "He tells everyone you're just comfortable. Not exciting anymore. Comfortable. Like an old chair you don't mind breaking." That night I cried. Not loud. Not dramatic. Men expect tears. They expect confrontation. Silence unsettles them. Instead of watching him, I started watching myself. I noticed how much of my energy I had been giving away. I had paused my ambitions for us, delayed my growth for later, shrunk myself so he could feel taller. That stopped. I reopened my laptop, the one I hadn't touched seriously in years. I updated my CV. I reached out to old contacts. I applied for roles I once thought were too much for me. At night, while he texted her, I studied. While he flirted, I rebuilt. The first one came quietly. An interview call, then another, then an offer. A role that paid more than his. I didn't tell him, not because I was hiding, because my success no longer required his permission. Something else changed too. I started taking care of myself, not to impress him, but to reclaim myself. I walked differently, spoke less, but with certainty. Listened more. People noticed. He noticed. One evening, he asked casually, "You've been different lately." I smiled. "Just tired," I said. A lie. I was energized for the first time in years. Meanwhile, Meher became bolder. She stopped hiding. She liked his posts, commented openly, laughed loudly when I was around. She wanted me to know, and I did. But I also knew something she didn't. Men who cheat don't leave for love. They leave for convenience. And convenience always expires. I began documenting everything. Dates, messages I accidentally saw, conversations overheard. Not for blackmail, for timing. The moment I knew I had outgrown him came on a random Tuesday. He was complaining about work. The same work where he played hero to her. He said, "You don't understand the pressure I'm under." And for the first time, I didn't try to understand. I just nodded, because I already knew something he didn't. Soon, the pressure would crush him, and I wouldn't be there to soften the fall. I wasn't plotting destruction. I was withdrawing support, and that's far more dangerous. By the end of that month, I had my own income, my own plans, my own future, and he still thought I was the same woman who would beg him to stay. That was his biggest mistake. Because weak women scream, strong women prepare, and I was almost ready. In a part 2. Next parts get darker and smarter. Back into Next Pointing Right Part 3. The trap he walked into willingly. Career damage, psychological pressure, no illegal moves. Back in Index Pointing Right, Part 4. When everything collapsed at once. Him plus her plus consequences. Back in Index Pointing Right, Part 5. The conversation that ended him. Part 3. Here we go. This is where the game begins, and he never even realizes he's playing. Part 3. The trap he walked into willingly. Revenge doesn't need violence. It needs patience. And patience was something I suddenly had in abundance. Ayan was getting comfortable. That's always when people make mistakes. He believed I was emotionally exhausted, that I was numb, that I was too weak to leave and too tired to fight. Men misread silence as surrender. It never is. The opportunity came from his own mouth. One evening, over dinner he barely touched, he said casually, "I might recommend Meher for a project at work. It could help her career." I looked at him, not with suspicion, with interest. "That's nice of you," I said. And that was it. That was the opening. The company didn't explode into chaos. That's not how institutions work. They move slowly, formally, without emotion. An internal review was opened. Not because of rumors, not because of jealousy, because patterns don't lie. Emails, project assignments, recommendations, access privileges, all pointing in the same direction. By the time Ayan called me, his voice had changed. Not angry, scared. "They've put me on leave," he said. "Just temporary. Some stupid inquiry." I said nothing. Silence again. It does terrible things to guilty people. "What do you think?" he asked. I took a breath. "I think," I said calmly, "you should tell the truth. It's easier to carry." He didn't realize how cruelly honest that advice was. By the end of the week, Meher disappeared. She stopped calling him, stopped replying, stopped showing up. The woman who once laughed loudly now vanished quietly. Because when consequences arrive, affairs don't turn into love stories. They turn into escape plans. Ayan came home early one evening. No confidence, no ismite. He sat across from me like a stranger asking for shelter. "They think I crossed boundaries," he said. "I didn't mean it to go this far." I looked at him, truly looked, and realized something profound. This man had destroyed his own life and still believed intent mattered more than impact. "I might lose my job," he whispered. I nodded. "I know." That scared him. "How do you know?" I met his eyes, and for the first time in months, I didn't look away. "They've asked for explanations," he continued. "They're reviewing everything. Everything. Such a dangerous word. Then came the second collapse. Not professional, personal. Meher sent him one last message. Not loving, not apologetic, defensive. She denied everything. Blamed him, blocked him, just like that. Wouldn't even risk a conversation. That night, he cried. Not dramatically, quietly. The kind of crying men do when they finally understand. They are alone. I didn't comfort him. I didn't punish him either. I just watched. 3 days later, the email arrived. Subject line, final decision. They didn't fire him publicly. They didn't shame him. They did something worse. They ended his role and offered a mutual separation. No recomendación, no differences. A professional death without a funeral. He sat on the bed holding the laptop, hands shaking. This can't be happening, he said. But it was. And it was happening without my fingerprints anywhere near it. That's the thing about quiet revenge. You don't push. You step aside and let gravity do its work. That night, as he slept restlessly beside me, he pegged to beg. Just essentials. Not running. Or leaving. He woke up when he heard the zipper. "Where are you going?" he asked, panic rising. I paused at the door, turned, and said something that would haunt him forever. "I'm finally choosing myself." Next comes the coldest moment of all. Back in Index Pointing Right, Part 5. The conversation that ended him. No shouting, no tears, just truth delivered perfectly. This is the moment he remembers for the rest of his life. Not because it was loud, but because it was final.